Alright. Well, as far as tonight's episodes go, finally we have an episode that doesn't really drive me nuts. I guess the reason I should explain why I'm so exhausted is because at work there is a bit of a change-up within my team, which is going across the entire company because instead of focusing on just two retailers that I know very well across multiple categories, I'm now focusing only on specific personal care categories, including shave, deodorant, skin cleansing, and some other categories I can't think of at the top of my head. But I have to do it across all retailers, including Creo, Kroger, and Target. 3 retailers I have zero experience, and I'm being on a team that it doesn't seem like they understand how I operate. And it is not an easy process to get used to, and I don't know how to take it. Hopefully tonight's episode will put me in a bit of a better mood, and hopefully give me something not to think about too much. So with that, let's get into It Isn't the Main Thing About You. Boy, that's a mouthful of a title. So this episode basically starts out with the shot of Onis, where Rarity basically steps forward and helps out with the flower ponies.
Common toys when you present them to whomever they're intended. That's it!
And thanks to Rarity, the business was successful. Also, Diamond Tiara and Filthy Rich are here.
Color consultations was a great idea, Rarity. Now, what should we do for you? Oh, darling, I need a dozen lavender pieces for photo finishes shoot on the most beautiful mains in Equestria. I know you're swamped, but it's for Vanity Mayor. She's going to take pictures of my mains, so color coordination is a must. Anything for you, Rarity.
They make it sound like it was impossible, but they say they would do it anyways. So Rarity basically continues on then as she's pretty much made the dress, probably since the series began. She's pretty much the most beautiful pony in Equestria and basically goes around and does a bunch of chores until she basically stops at Sugar Cube Corner, where Pinky is celebrating the twins' first sleep-anniversary, I don't know. But essentially she basically ends up spilling over a bunch of, you know, those silly strings things? Well, she made them super sticky, and it gets on the Rarity's mane.
Hey, I can't have photo finish shoot my mane like this, and this party string won't come off. Oh, that's because it's not just party string, it's super sticky celebration string. Sorry, I guess my sneeze-anniversary was a little too sneeze-anniversary.
Sneeze-anniversary. Pinky, never change. Also, I should also point out that before that whole accident happened, it actually took us 3 minutes to get to the theme song instead of just the usual minute, so that's kind of nice.
It'll be fine, Pinky. I'll find a way to clean this up before the shoot tomorrow. Actually, you might consider doing the same. If only we had some kind of super sucky mane conditioning shampoo for you and a magical cleaning remover potion for me.
So essentially they go down to the Everfree Forest to see Zakora. Yeah, Zakora. We haven't seen her in a long time. And we see Rarity continue to be, well, dramatic.
Sure, you're right. Listen, spooky eyes. Why don't you take a picture? It will last longer.
I really like how everybody was once afraid of the Everfree Forest and the cliches of the evil glowing eyes that stares at you. That's definitely one way to scare them off. So, like I said, probably in the longest time, we head inside Zakora's hut, where she basically makes the remover potion and the super moisturizing shampoo for them.
Cupcakes cleaned off in no time. You really should make new ones.
For your mane, of course. Just so good too. So use my super sexy shampoo.
Oh, what a relief. I can't tell you how worried I was that my mane wouldn't be ready for the shoot. Oh,
So yeah, this episode kind of gives just kind of an idea of how tricky mains are in the world of Equestria, where it's sort of difficult to kind of pull off. So, as Sakura explained.
Really?
There are tales I could tell to make your hair stand on end. Horrifying, terrifying attempts to maim men.
Well, I do enjoy a good yarn, but I'm not sure I could take any more main front today. Well, I love a good scary story.
There's the contagious frizz that spreads friend to friend, or the story of an infinitely splitting end.
So you kind of know where this leads, where Rarity and Pinky actually take their own potions, but we end up seeing that Pinky ends up getting the moisturizing shampoo potion, and Rarity ends up taking the remover, and you kind of know where this leads when she gets out of the shower and sees the mirror of what she sees.
My mane feels lighter already.
And she takes it well. I think she's handling it pretty well. So we see Rarity rush back to Sakura in her Organization 13 cloak to show her what ended up happening.
Oh, goodness, Sakura. You could at least pretend it isn't that bad.
I'm sorry, my dear, but there's nothing to say. You just took the wrong potion from him yesterday.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought maybe your shampoo had triggered early onset mare pattern baldness.
Well, I doubt Sakura would be able to do something that would be considered evil and doing something like that. But yeah, I think we saw the moment that Rarity ended up knocking the table over and swapping the potions around. We can kind of see that it would be her fault. But then again, it would also partly be Sakura's fault, considering the fact that, you know, the potions were pretty much the same color. I mean, it's not like she could have tried to make them like a different color to let us know what the difference was. But then again, I suppose if she did that, then we wouldn't have an episode. No. So Rarity basically asked Sakura if she can come up with some kind of a cure, but as Sakura explained earlier...
Magic's the trickiest of tricks.
I'm sorry?
I doubt that your mane has left us forever. There's a chance we can fix it, I think, if we're clever.
Wait, there's a chance? You think?
I need to focus. If I'm to work any faster, one wrong ingredient spells utter disaster.
I'm assuming it's very bad things. So while Sakura tries to work on the cure to fix Rarity, she decides to go out to look for her chores, but seeing how some background ponies take offense to her mane, she tries to hide herself, but because the ponies are blind and can't tell by Rarity's face that they don't know it's her, so that's stupid on their part, or they end up ignoring her pretty much all throughout as Rarity begins to lose confidence until she scares away a lot of the townsfolk. And because of this disaster, Rarity basically goes to Starlight and Twilight for some comfort.
How differently ponies treat you when you can't command their attention. Are you sure that's what happened? Wait, you can't command ponies' attention because your mane's messed up? Messed up? Does this look messed up to you?
Oh, God, that reaction. The expressive animation we have endured. But, yeah, I think Starlight's pretty much the exact same person how they feel about trying to react to how whenever beautiful people start losing their good looks or something like that.
Honestly, how hard is it to pretend it's not so bad? Hard. If today is any indication of how ponies will treat me from now on, I can't simply wait to see if my mane grows back. I'm sorry, Rarity. I'm sure no pony means to make you feel worse than you already do.
Except for the ponies that didn't even bother to even recognize her face or just ask her why she's wearing a cloak. Because maybe they probably had on their secret Clark Kent Ninja Turtle goggles.
Didn't you say Sakura was working on a cure? Yes, well, even if every pony is utterly indifferent to my presence, Sakura might not be able to fix this in time for the shoot. Can't you do a spell to restore some semblance of my mane? The thing is, it's pretty much like Sakura said. Fixing names with magic is tricky! I know! I don't care! Make with the trick!
Rarity basically having a mental breakdown at this point. I don't know why it is, but it always brings me joy. So Starlight and Twilight do try to basically make a new main, but it ultimately is not very suitable.
This won't do. I need an actual main. But it has to come from somewhere. Well, you can't just make a main with magic. The results could be disastrous. More disastrous than this.
So they try everything that they can, but it ultimately doesn't really work.
Anything else we can try? But Cora said there was still a chance.
At last, Rarity.
Oh, right on the dot.
So long. What I told you before was totally wrong.
Sakura, you found a cure? That's amazing. You mean I'll get my fabulous mane back in time for the shoot?
Oh, no. I'm afraid I can't fix it before the big shoot. But in time, the hair will grow back from the root.
Yeah, and as everybody knows with the things with haircuts, no matter how many times we get them shortened, they always grow back, and that's just kind of the thing with hair. And essentially, Zagora says that while she has the cure, she won't get it repaired in time for the shoot, and it'll eventually take a lot of time.
There's no magical cure to hasten us through it, unless you went backward in time to undo it.
I think we can both say that's not a good option.
And considering what you had to go through last time you went through that, and considering how you almost caused the space-time continuum to have an aneurysm, I would believe that. And also, hooray for continuity, but also destroying Rarity's confidence even further. So, after the commercial break, she goes back to the Carousel Boutique and asks Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy for her honest opinion.
How awful is it? Oh, come on! Can't any pony pretend it's not bad?
Okay, that's one of the few running jokes in this episode I really like. So essentially, the three ponies decided wanted to give Rarity her confidence back by trying to make her a new main, starting with Applejack. Oh, and by the way, little Easter egg, we see Sugar Belle and Big Mac together, so we see that the shipping has ended up working and they're still speaking to each other. But ultimately, it's not really what Rarity is looking for. So she then goes to Rainbow Dash, who admittedly does a pretty good job with basically making a main out of clouds, which is pretty impressive. The downside, however, because it's made of clouds, they are stationary and they don't last long.
Portable.
Fluttershy then tries to get her animals to try to make a new main, but ultimately it doesn't really work, as Rarity then just decides to cancel the shoot, as the rest of her friends decide to go to Carousel Boutique to try to talk to her, as Rarity is now sitting in the dark, eating ice cream.
In the dark. I'm more comfortable in the dark.
Okay, Rarity, you've done just about enough something. Having a fabulous mane is a wonderful thing, but it ain't the only thing.
Yeah! And we're here to remind you how awesome you are.
And that's pretty much the antithesis of how, honestly, how I felt when I talked about in the last review of how if I had to get surgery just to get my bottom teeth to line up with my top teeth, because I could really care less, but I'm not going to go on another diatribe. As we see basically the main six, minus Pinky, basically give her some encouragement and remind her why she's great.
Started a fashion empire. Rendering us all feel beautiful in her lovely creation. A friend who stuck by us no matter what.
A friend so generous that she once chopped off her own tail to help a sea serpent.
And plus, that tail did eventually grow back.
I know you lost some confidence when you lost your mane, but unlike your hair, confidence is something you can get back right now. Goodness, no rush.
And thus, Rarity's creative spark comes in, and we get the memorable thing about this episode, Punk Rock Rarity. Essentially, kind of giving a shout out to all the bronies who are also metal fans and any fans of rock music.
Awesome!
It's my own fault. I shouldn't have bought flowers without asking Spoiled what she likes.
Well, we don't have much left. What did she like?
Well, considering who your wife is, Filthy Rich, I'm amazed you're still trying to impress her. And no, I am not letting that go. But essentially, Rarity then basically sparks out a new look and basically gives out out new recommendations, and to basically all the ponies that she had helped out.
Feeling sorry for myself. I don't know why you were so upset. Your mane looked awesome.
And very memey.
All of you to remind me that even if I accidentally use magical remover potion on my mane, I can look good on the outside as long as I feel good on the inside. How'd you end up using remover potion on your head anyway? Pinky!
Kind of makes you wonder how much unseen self-doubt was Rarity in, not realizing that Pinky had the other potion. Like seriously, it took her almost the entire episode to figure it out.
Shampoo. Shampoo? Well, that explains why our manes are all so bouncy and soft.
I've got to admit, Pinky's mane that almost looks like Rarity in a bounce is honestly pretty cute. As we see Pound and Pumpkin Cake Theory.
Perhaps I'll fetch the rest of that remover potion. Hey, there's something different about you. Makeup polish?
Kind of makes you wonder, can ponies actually wear air hoof polish? Or basically foot polish or any kind of polish? So essentially, Rarity does eventually get her mane back as she still panics about it.
Yes, Rarity. It's been months. Your mane looks fine.
So yeah, it's been months. So it kind of makes you wonder how long the time frame has been since then. I mean, considering how much time hair would usually go back after a haircut, I would probably assume at most, probably 2 months at most. But eventually Pinky then sees basically a front cover of a book that Rarity wanted to see, and we do get this pretty funny interaction.
You should read it. Oh, honestly, Pinky, after all I went through, I'm not sure it even matters what mane graces the page.
Also, another meme-worthy face from Rarity. But eventually she sees on the front cover that her basically punk rock look makes the front cover.
We had a little talk, photo finish.
And explain just how beautiful we thought you were, inside and out. While you were shining from the inside out, Photo Finish took a few pictures.
In camouflage. So I guess she really liked the look at all. She liked the look.
I don't know what to say.
Luckily, you don't have to say anything. Your style speaks for itself.
If only that were true in the real world. And on that note, that was It Isn't the Main Thing About You. And I don't know what else to say. I thought this was an enjoyable episode. Honestly, there's nothing that really inherently wrong with it. I mean, essentially once you see the two bottles and essentially the mix-up, you kind of know where it's going to lead. But it is a relatively enjoyable journey. Rarity was definitely a ball just to see all her reactions. But on top of that, we get to see what it's like for her to lose her confidence, and even more so what happens when she loses her mane. But then getting her friends to encourage her to have a more creative mind, to basically make lemonade out of lemons, and making a bad negative situation into a positive. And then, of course, I really like the ultimate look that she does give, which, again, is a shout-out to all the metal bronies, which I definitely like. And there was a lot of laughs that I got from this episode. I think, honestly, there isn't really anything inherently wrong with the episode. I guess it's just a little bit predictable, and there's nothing really else much to complain. I mean, this episode's good, but I just think that there are some other episodes in this season that I thought were relatively better. Some that I kind of remember more. But again, there's nothing inherently wrong with the episode. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I think maybe just a personal me thing, I'd probably give this episode an A-. I guess really like my only gripe is, again, comes down to the predictability, and I guess maybe the only other thing that kind of bugs me is just how ponies just can't seem to recognize Rarity's face and just more focus on the hair, like the mane is the most important thing for a pony to recognize some pony. Those are kind of like my only two major gripes with the episode, but nothing that overall breaks the episode. So with that, It Isn't the Main Thing About You is an A-. Alright, so with that, cannot believe that we're actually starting to wind down on Season 7. And we still got some episodes left, but I cannot believe that we're getting closer to the end. So next time, we will be taking a look at A Health of Information. See you guys next time. Bye.